to all of you. We're currently on our way to the Chicago Hyatt Regency Hotel. We are on our way to the future pilot event, and I'm gonna try to film as much as I can. I'm not sure how much filming I can do, so I'm gonna try the best I can to get you guys the event. So
turn right onto North Lincoln Way.
Yeah, I have my navigation system on for the first time. I'm using it because I don't know how to get there. So yeah, it's really easy. I like it so far. But anyways, guys, I'm on my way there.
Turn right to merge onto I-56 toward DeKalb, Iowa.
Okay, so yeah, guys, I have to get going now. I will see you guys when we arrive at the Hyatt Regency in O'Hare. If we can get some plane spotting going on, guys, from that location, that would be lovely. So I'll see you guys when we arrive. That's it. Right, guys, we have currently arrived at the Hyatt Regency Hotel here in Chicago. So I'm currently in a parking garage. We're gonna go ahead and take the camera with us in the backpack, and we're just gonna start heading in. The event doesn't start for another hour. My navigation got me here very quickly. So we're just gonna hang out. Maybe we'll go walk around with the camera and just see what's going on, guys. So I think that's what we're gonna do, is walk around, check out the hotel a little bit as part of the vlog, and yeah, so I'll see you guys in a little bit. If there's any aircraft, I'll film them. So that's it. The door locked. All right, guys, here we go. We're gonna be doing like a little mini walking video here. Like I said, I've never been to this place before, so this is like pre-speed before returning the vehicle. Well, that's not us. We're actually, oh my god, an elevator. Let's just take it for the video. Perfect. Guess we're gonna go down to ground. Yeah, guys, I've never been here, so this is gonna be a first. I like this elevator. What do you guys think?
Ground floor.
Here we are, guys. Cool. Alright, guys. This is ground level. Perfect. This is where I want to be. Could park here. Yeah, I gotta go that way. Alright, guys, I'm like so nervous. I don't even know where to go. But I did park the car and I do have my ticket. Alright, I'm gonna stop filming. Should have not have done that in the middle of the street. It's a Super 80. MD-80. There's the hotel. Might be other people coming too, so I'm not going to talk too much in this video. Oh shoot, let's go this way. This is like a parking space here. Guys, I've got to go use the washroom. This is gonna hopefully be a fun event. Hopefully I can film it. Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm hoping that there's an ATM here too. Alright, here we go, guys. Right into the hotel.
Oh my god. You gotta think, it's hot, it's sticky.
Wow, this is a nice place. I just really gotta use the washroom. I hope I can find a bathroom here. This is fancy. Ooh. Sitting area. Hopefully someday as a pilot I'll be staying here, guys. There it is. That's the room, but I gotta find a bathroom. That's where the meeting is located. But now where's the washroom at? Guys, I found the place where we're supposed to meet, but I don't know where the bathroom is. I'm sure I'll find... Oh, an ATM. Hold on. If that's an ATM, I'm gonna go pull cash out. I think. Oh, that's not. I thought there's gotta be an ATM in this hotel somewhere. It's like, whoa, a pilot. Whoa, did you guys see that? Oh, there is an ATM here. Perfect. I'm gonna withdraw. No receipt. Sorry guys, because I do need some money. Let's take 20 out. Okay, so I know I have to pay $3.95 for it. Just as long as I get some cash, that's what matters. Sweet. Perfect. Okay. Yep. Gotta find the ladies' restroom. Here's men's. Gotta be here somewhere. Ah, here we go. Perfect. I thought, whoa. Okay, be right back. Are you kidding me? Fancy bathrooms. This is waterproof. Alright, here we go. They have TVs in here? Holy shit. That's freaking cool. I like this hotel, guys. Shh. Let's go look around. Actually. Guys, hold on a sec here. I think I have my other camera. I need to get my tickets out real quick. Hang on. This is for me. I do need that. Still early. Alright guys, so we are a little bit early. I think we're just gonna walk around and look at this place. Because I know where the classroom is right now. Holy cow, look at that freaking elevator. Oh my god. As bad as I want to take it right now for the video. Oh my god. Oh, that's so cool. Do you guys want to ride one just for fun? We should, right? Let's ride one for fun. We got a half an hour, might as well. Do you guys want to? We could. Let's just ride one for fun. I don't even know what. Oh shit. Gonna go on. Let's go on 4. Guys, this is gonna be cool. Oh my god, guys, look out the windows. Here we go. Whoa! Jeez, holy cow. Oh, that's so cool. Do you see? That's so freaking cool. Let's go to 7. Oh my god, this is gonna be fun. Alright guys, hang on, here we go. Oh man, this is such a cool elevator. Actually, let's go down to lower level. Let's go back. Alright guys, hang on. We're gonna go down. Oh, it's so cool. Oh my god, this is a fun elevator. Oh, cool. Wow. Guys, that was a fun ride. That was actually the best elevator ride I've ever had. What we should have done is going down to the basement. Am I hopefully I'm on the right floor. I think we are. Wow. Guys, I like this hotel. Hopefully I'll become a pilot soon and we can stay here. And I will, because I'm going to school for it. Yeah, that's where we have to be later. Let's just go look around. Hopefully nobody would mind. Gotta check the time. That was fun. There we go. Okay, this is the last walk we do. Wow. So far, this is a really, really cool hotel. I'd show you the room, so I'm not sure if I'm allowed up there. But those elevators were so freaking cool. Let's just walk down there and see what's down there. Yeah, my navigation got me here with no problem. I just need my ticket, and then I'm good to go in that room. Look at this, guys. No, I can't go down there, I don't think. Oy. 12:34 is the time. We've got a lot of time. Oh, man. It's actually a really nice hotel. I really like it. So, what do you guys think? I'm hoping I can tape this event, but I might not be able to. Yeah, it's currently... I'm just gonna sit here since my foot's injured. Yep, we're at the right place, and it's from 1 to 6, so it's a good long hour. We're not gonna film the whole event, though. So for those of you that don't know, this is like an event for future pilots, which is me. Currently logged in some hours. Yeah, so this is like a ticket so I can get in there. They'll just have to scan it. So, we'll be right back at around... We'll leave soon. That's it. Okay. early, but that's okay. Alright, guys. I think I might record with my iPhone when I get in there because I don't know if, because this thing records really, really loudly. So I think I'm going to take over on the iPhone 8 to film it. Okay. Okay. I really wish I could explore this place. What does this thing do, guys? I think it does battery rentals. What? Oh my god, that elevator goes all the way up there. Oh my god. Why didn't it let us go all the way up? Look, there they go. It's so cool. Yeah, guys, I think we're going to take over on the iPhone 8. It's going to be kind of a weird screen you guys are going to see, but only because I don't know if I'm allowed to film the event or not, so... Oh my god, you guys see that? Oh my god. Guys, maybe we'll write it one more time later. Alright, guys, so I think I'm going to stop recording. I will see you guys in the event. Yeah, I'll see you guys soon. That's it.
There's a curious sight in the Mojave Desert. A graveyard of sorts. For airplanes.
Being with Piedmont for a little while now, I was actually technically the second military RTP candidate they hired. My best friend was the first. It was like a day difference, so we don't count that.
Seniority.
I'm older than him, so I got more seniority. But what's exciting about it that's never been around, there was a guy floating around today I actually met in Oshkosh when we went to Oshkosh this last week, and he's a 787 pilot based here in Chicago, flies internationally to Hong Kong. And I talked to him, and I talked to another guy who just retired. He literally just hit his 65 years of age and retired. And he came up to Oshkosh, flying 777s out of Dallas, I believe, flying to Asia. And I asked him, I said, okay, tell me, you guys have been in these, I think one's been in there 30 years, the other one was there for 40 years. And I said, so tell me, is it really true, because I just left a pretty stable career as an Army pilot to come do this, and I said, is it true that it's really as good as it seems? I mean, because you always hear the grass is always greener, things always seem better than they really are. And the 777 guy, 65-year-old guy said, let me tell you something, son. And I knew I was in for something good there. But he told me just kind of how his last 7 years had gone as a 777 captain. And listening to him, I was just like, why didn't I do this sooner? So we're in an industry right now that has never, ever been this way. It's never been this way. So I'm telling my son, who's 13, I'm like, hey, in 10 years from now, you can be sitting at a regional and then be up at an American airline by the time you're 25, 26 years old. Because if you didn't know, we haven't even hit the hiring issue yet. So everybody talks about this big hiring crisis. If you've seen it on Facebook, it's been on CNN. Sully just did a thing about it, this hiring crisis that's going on, right? We haven't even touched the surface of that yet. In fact, that doesn't even start until about 2020. So right now, we're sitting around 600, American alone, sitting about 600 or so pilots a year to mandatory retirement we're losing. Starting in 2020, we hit 900 pilots a year to mandatory retirement alone. That goes on. They don't even come back down below 600 pilot retirements until 2028. So we're losing 60 to 70% of the entire pilot group that is currently at American is gone in 10 to 12 years.
That's the entire sum of the pilots at Piedmont.
Yeah.
Imagine losing an entire airline worth of people every year.
And the last study that they just showed was that we would have to, worldwide, To get on top of this, they would have to train a new pilot every 15 minutes worldwide in order to meet this crisis, this gap that's coming. So even if something happens and there's a little bit of economic downturn, they still got to replace, let's say, the worst half of those pilots. That's still 450 pilots every single year that are gone. That's not counting people that decide to retire because they made enough money doing something else. People that want to go somewhere else and do something else. So that's just people we know that we have to push out the door. So you're in a, if you're, let's say you're, do we have any high school students? What year? Sophomore, junior, seniors? Freshmen, any freshmen? So sophomore, junior, senior, let's go from there. Sophomore, junior, senior, you'd be 21 when you fly for the airlines, right? So you're talking 16 to 17 years old, right? Somewhere in there, 16, 17 years old. So if you're good at math, how long do you have till you're 21? Anybody turn 21 in 2020? 2021? Okay, so 2021, you just heard me, that's the second year of 900. 900 pilots, that's 1,800 pilots just from one company that are gone, that are never coming back. So you think, when you start looking at making these long-term goals, and I know as a parent, I have a 19-year-old that's in college right now, I would love to have somebody come and tell her, hey, why don't you go ahead and interview now and you have a job for the next 40 years. That would be amazing. So I know sitting here as, if your parents are here, it's a huge thing to know that, especially in an economy that is starting to come back up now, but 5-6 years ago, kids in college, they were like, well, I hope I get a job, right? Now we can sit here and tell you, if you're going to school, you can go to school, a specialty school, a trade school for aviation. You can go to a 2-year school, Mercer College, one of the colleges that has a flight group that they work with us. Go to Mercer College and do a 2-year aviation science degree for associates. Walk out with your minimums and walk into an industry that's going to keep you around for about 40 years. Pretty killer. When you look at benefits are amazing. Having a job that has benefits. You go look on places like Indeed, Monster, any of these places that are hiring. They're hourly jobs. They don't have any benefits. They're all these minimum wage jobs or 13, 14 bucks an hour, but they have no benefits. All of our airline have benefits. We have a fantastic medical and dental programs. I don't know any of the parents or older folks in the room started out. I didn't at 21 years old and have all of your benefits taken care of. I did technically because I was in the Army, but it just doesn't happen that way. In an airline, it does happen that way. And then, I don't know any other jobs that you can go to a trade school and walk out in 12 to 14 years and be making $300,000 a year to work half a month. So we'll put that perspective as the airline side. You do have a potential. Our cap, American Airlines caps out $333 an hour for international pilots, and they work about 9 to 11 days a month. So pretty impressive with not having to go to a 4-year college. If you go to a 4-year college, great. You'll be able to actually have a job after a 4-year college in an industry that's fantastic. And then there's a bunch of other great little things, and we're going to do a round table. We can talk, and you guys can ask questions. But I can tell you right now, there's never ever been a better time to be a pilot. We kind of went over the multiple ways that you can do it, that you can get there. And I don't see any other industry that really can provide the kinds of things that the aviation does, the aviation can right now. So, what else you got? I love it.
I'm jealous.
And we get free trips.
Yeah. There's lots of ways. We've got a gate agent or customer service gate agent, cross-utilized, above the wing, below the wing. What do you do? Speak up.
Station agent, ramp, customer service.
So cross-utilized. Even if you want I lost my train of thought. There are ways to get into the airline industry, even if you can't get into being a pilot right away. There are ways to get in through the ground side, to get started. And then once you're in the industry and you're inside the company, it's kind of infectious. You can't leave. Being able to go anywhere you want on a whim is intoxicating, I guess would be the right word. When I leave here tonight, I will go home to Houston, and then, what is today? Tonight's Sunday. Monday, I will be headed to Charlotte. I'll be in Charlotte for a couple days. That's where my office is. I go in and wave on Tuesdays and or Wednesdays. But I'm field-based the rest of the time, which means I'm out and about, moving and grooving. I can take my laptop wherever I'd like to go and work. From the pilot aspect, my job is kind of similar. I'm always on the plane, I'm always with the crews going somewhere. But for the pilots, you guys don't have to take your laptop. You don't have to respond to emails. And when I was with in-flight, I didn't even have an email address. So that was just 2 years ago that now I have an email and I have to respond to things and talk to people, and I don't like people. I'm a really good HR person. I don't like people. But I like aviation, and I like talking to people who like aviation. And I've been now in the industry for 10 years, and I can talk about nothing forever, which I obviously have been doing for the last 10 minutes. Envoy, I need you. For a very short period of time because I can't watch my mouth, which is interesting that they put me up here. But I was in flight for years and now I'm in pilot recruiting. I've got my degree in human resource management with an emphasis on employee development and retention. And being with Piedmont really ties into that because for the most part, we're an airline, we fly planes, but we're actually an HR company that happens to fly airplanes. If you go to our website, there's nothing on there that you can buy. We fly under the American Airlines brand, under the American Eagle flag, but we don't sell tickets on our website. When you go to our website, the first and pretty much only thing you're gonna see is come work with us. Here's how you can work with us. Here's how you can be part of the American Airlines group and part of Piedmont. So that's where we run through with this today. So a lot of people, when they hear Piedmont, some of our pilots in the room will probably say, they went out of business long ago. Well, no, we didn't really go out of business. We've just been through our fair share of mergers and rebranding and everything else. And most recently, we joined the American Airlines Group in 2015 with the merger of US Airways and American Airlines. We came through with the US Airways side. So, most of you are here today because you want to find out how to be a pilot. There's several pathways to the pilot career, and they all can tie in differently, different paths. As Tom said, there's no one way to become a pilot. So we're going to talk a little bit about those different ways to become a pilot. There's military, which is what Josh did. And for those of you who are interested in being a military pilot, he's going to be your go-to guy for figuring out that process. He went through the military and then joined us through our Rotary Transition Program that is brand new to us in the industry, where we are taking military pilots and making them fixed-wing pilots as quickly as we possibly can because we desperately need pilots. There's also off the street, where you can walk in off the street and maybe, if you're lucky, and they haven't filled up their quota already, a major carrier can take you into their classes and have you join them in their process. There's also cadet programs where, with at least Piedmont, we'll start talking to you when you have your CFI and 500 hours. That starts your entry into the airline system. And with Piedmont, you interview one time for your career, and then you move on, and you never interview again for the entirety of your career through our flow program with American Airlines. And then there's going to a wholly owned regional, which is kind of what Josh is doing through a roundabout way through the military. It's what a lot of people have chosen to do, and that's what we'll talk about later today, is the wholly owned regionals and why being with a wholly owned regional makes a huge difference in your career development, in your career progression. In that, for the most part, with the wholly owned regionals, I don't want you to stay with us. I want you to come in, I want you to fly with us for 3 to 5 years, and I want you to move on to working with our major carrier, which is American. I don't want you to spend your career with me. I don't want you to stagnate in your career. I want to hire you and plan your career out for you until age 65 on your second or third day of employment with us. I want to have that clear defined pathway for you for your career development, because for the most part, most people don't want to spend their entire career on a 145. You want to get out there, you want to be flying the larger jets. And it's my job as a recruiter to pair you up in that role that's going to lead you to your end goal as quickly as possible. And through the development of our flow programs, I'm able to do that to get you where you need to be. So Josh, do you want to talk about military and how, your entry with the ATP to that?
Yeah, so I spent 16 years flying Blackhawks in the Army, and 16 years flying Blackhawks in the Army. Was in the Air Force for a little while and transitioned oddly enough to fly for the Army. And always wanted to be a pilot. Long term, I wanted to retire and go to the airlines. Was starting to do that all on my own, so I could set myself up. And heard about this rotary transition program, and started doing a ton of research, which most of us, most of the military people do. We like to research our things out, and got to a point where it was silly not to get out and go. So I got out, went to the National Guard, and talked to Piedmont, went to a couple different companies, and then ended up with Piedmont just because I really enjoyed everything about it, which we can talk to on different reasons why, but just fantastic company. And then for me, the flow to the airlines was a huge deal. So, I'm not limited in my career, what I can do. I get to come and fly in a regional aircraft. I get to fly jets. They paid for me to do some of my transition pieces. And then in, again, 3 to 5 years, I don't have to do anything else. I've already interviewed, been successfully hired. 3 to 5 years, they're going to call my number and say, hey, you want to come to the airlines? Now, I'm one of those guys who I don't plan on waiting that long. I'm going to do applications and those things. I'm going to try and go apply to American outside the flow, doing a regular application. But if for some reason I don't make it, or I don't get it, or I just have a bad interview, I still will flow in 3 to 5 years, which is really, really nice. If somebody would have told me when I was, I think we just talked to a sophomore in college through one of our cadet programs, a sophomore in college, CFI. We just hired him on as cadet, 20 years old, 21 years old, if that. And this person will never have to do another interview again and be able to do a 40-year career. So if you would have told me that I could do that when I was 20 years old, I did that. I joined the Army. But so it's really exciting when you look at the pay. And then this is where your benefits are. If the military is, obviously military is a great career. It's a wonderful thing. If you want to do both, you can. You can go to the National Guard and the Reserves. You can do your flight school, your flight training through the military, and once you're done, you qualify for 750 hours for restricted ATP. Now keep in mind, that's 750 total hours. Well, you're gonna get 250 hours through the rotary transition program for your fixed wing requirements. And so you only need 500 hours through military training to qualify for this program. So you can do that, serve in the National Guard, serve in the Reserves, in an aviation program, and turn around and apply with us. And like it says right there, highly sought after mainline carriers. If you imagine, the last numbers I looked at, 58% I think is what American Airlines brings into the organization. 58% comes from the flow or the wholly owns. And then out of the rest, obviously 42% comes from off the street hires. Of those off the street hires, it's like 50 to 60% are all prior military. So it's definitely a great avenue for you. There's definitely some other stuff, long commitment times in the military, depending on what program you go through. It can be anywhere from 6 years to 10 years. There's a lot of other military stuff if you want to talk to me offline about that goes with that. But it is a very, very simple way to attain hours and do those things. And if you have a desire to serve your country, you can do both. You can fly for the airlines. In fact, a ton of our pilots do National Guard or Reserves and still fly actively for us. So it's really awesome. Unprecedented is the word. It's never happened. It's never happened like this before in the industry.
So, like Josh said, there's the off-the-street component of the hiring. 58% of Americans' hires are going to come from the 3 wholly owns, which are going to be Piedmont, PSA, and Envoy, who will speak with you guys in a little bit. That's where 58% of the people they hire are coming from. Then you got that 42, where a good portion of that is going to be military recruiting, where they're actively seeking military pilots to either go through a rotary transition program with them or through just being a fixed wing military operator. So then you come to off the street. You have to be ATP qualified. You've got to either already possess it or be at one of those gateways to earn an ATP. It's very competitive. You're out there competing for a very small percentage of seats left in a class against everyone else out there on the street. And it's a very small window of opportunity for when they're actually holding those classes, inviting people to come in and interview, inviting them to join with their ranks. You've got a very small opportunity, number of seats available, and then you have a ton of people trying to do it, and they only do it every once in a while because they're taking so many people from the program. So if you're asking yourself, how on earth am I going to get into one of these schools or into one of these airlines? We have cadet schools. Our cadet programs take you from the certified flight instructor level. We ask that you have at least 500 hours and we'll start talking to you. We can really start the conversation at 400, but at 500, I can start paying you for your flight time to be an employee with us through the cadet program. So while you're in school and you're building your hours, for every 100 hours that you earn, I'm gonna cut you a check for you to spend on whatever you'd like. I would prefer you spend it on flight training, but that's your choice. You can have a long conversation with your parents about where that check comes from if you are gonna go through us with the cadet program. But you're gonna have the opportunity to build hours in school. And when you hit that point where you've got those 500 hours where we can start paying you, that's your first, last, and only interview you will have to do for your entire career. That's huge. And our recruiting days and interview days, we know they're stressful. People are out there reading online that they've got to wear the right shade of navy tux with the red tie. I don't care what color your tie is. I really don't. Because I know, well, first off, I'm gonna give you a uniform. But I also know that when you get in the plane, the first thing you're gonna do is take off your hat and take off the tie. You'll call it for safety or whatever because you think you're gonna get stuck in a gear. But I know it's because nobody likes wearing ties. Nobody wants to wear their fancy little captain hat or their FO hat with the scrambled eggs on the captain's side. But you've got better things to worry about during an interview than, are you wearing the right shade of red? I don't care. I will tell you that right now. When it comes down to talking about education, when I filter through your resumes and your applications online, the only thing I'm looking at for whether you went to a 4-year school, a 2-year school, a technical school, whatever, is how many hours you need for that ATP. Are you gonna be a restricted ATP? Are you gonna be a full ATP candidate? There's nothing in my program, in my recruiting, or any of my other recruiters at Piedmont that says you have to have a 4-year degree, or a 2-year degree, or an aviation degree, or a human resources degree. It doesn't matter. What does matter is your passion for the industry and your minimum qualifications. But what we're looking at is, in that we are a wholly owned carrier, are you a fit for our culture, and are you a fit for Americans' culture? And if you're worried about what color tie you have on, you're not focusing on the right things to be successful in your interview with us. So we really want to stress, like with the cadet programs, while you guys are out there deciding what avenue you want to take, remember that the cadet programs exist. We partner with a few schools. We have 23 with Piedmont. Envoy has a much larger program because they're simply a much larger organization than we are. But you've got the opportunity to get into those schools, go to school, build your time, and then come out and never have to worry again about an interview for the rest of your career, which is a pretty fantastic way to sit, because I don't even like doing interviews. I keep touching my mic. They're gonna hate that on the sound bites. They're gonna, what is that, edit this out. So again, I get distracted easily. And I've already talked about being at a wholly owned regional. We ask that when you come to us, you have your commercial certificate. That's our minimum. You've gotta have that. We will get you to your ATP, CTP. We will send you out to school if we hire you, and we will send you to school to get that. Again, it's about making your smart choices. With the wholly owns, we're gonna pay for you to have your ATP, CTP. That's not an expense that you need to incur prior to joining the airline industry anymore. The standards have changed. It used to be that, you had to have that ATP. You had to be ready to go to walk in off the street. And now with the wholly owns and the regional side, we're capturing people wherever we can capture you in the pipeline to give you that success strategy, to map out your career for you and help you get where you need to be. And we found that paying for your ATP, CTP really helps you in that aspect and gets you prepared. So we, as the industry, we're now providing the ATP, CTP to our candidates. And again, we have that defined career opportunity for advancements. And this is a new PowerPoint for me. My boss text messaged me as I was boarding my flight to come up here, and he said, I don't like the PowerPoint we have now, change it. So this is kind of where we're at. You're our guinea pigs for today because I did this in flight. So we've got this guy, he looks like a pretty handy dandy pilot. He's got 4 stripes, which means he's gonna sit on what seat of the airplane? Perfect. I like the last group, they said he's gonna sit in the back in economy because he's deadheading. But in the non-reclining seat next to the lap. So again, we are part of the American Airlines Group. And we will stress that throughout every single thing you ever see from Piedmont is that we are part of the American Airlines Group. This is a huge deal. When you hire on with us, that's your last interview for the term of your career. It's a one and done. I can't stress that enough, and I probably have stressed it way too much so far, but that's where we're at. And so we have no interview flow to American. We have the fast upgrade times to captain. We're gonna capture you in at industry minimums. Industry minimums to become a captain are gonna be 2,500 hours total time and 1,000 hours 121 time. With the way our fleet growth is happening now and our industry sits, I can get you that in your first year of employment with us. I lost my screen. I need an adult. Fast upgrades. I can get you to captain in 12 to 18 months. Our first year pay is going to be $39.37 per hour. When we publish our pay charts and everything else, we give a second year pay rate. Do we even?
42.
We do publish a second year pay rate of $42. And that's where our first officer pay rates stop. Because we don't have third, fourth, fifth, sixth year FOs. In your first 12 to 18 months with us, we expect you to be sitting in the left seat as a captain, making $59 to $65 an hour in your second year of employment with us. We make promises to you like that today. I'm telling you it's 12 to 18 months. You're making huge life career decisions. If I can't deliver upon that, then I should owe you something for that. And with Piedmont, if in your second year of employment with us, by the end of the first quarter, you are not a captain for whatever reason, we will give you a $2,500 bonus to sit in the right seat. Every quarter, up to $20,000 until you are left seat qualified, or we can move you into the left seat, or we can, for whatever reason, get you there. You deserve to have your time valued, and with the wholly owns, we do value that time. We want to get you set up for success. We're not trying to keep you in and stuck in the airline that you're at. We want to flow, and we want to have you move on, because that's how you become our success story. So with the flow, Piedmont does have the fastest flow of any of the wholly owns out there. We're sitting at 3 to 5 years, and that's simply because we are the smallest. We are a very small little quirky airline. We have about 650 pilots, and for every 125 that I hire, we get to increase our flow number to American. Right now we're sitting at 5 pilots per month going to American, and so that creates movement at the top of our seniority list. So it's always moving up there, and then I'm creating movement at the bottom of the seniority list by bringing people in, which pushes you up and through. And for me, that's really important because I'm a pilot recruiter. And if I fill up all of my spots and nobody leaves, I'm out of a job. So I want you all to leave. I want you all to go to American as quickly as possible so I can keep my job. Because if I fill up all my spots, we do 20 pilots per airframe that we bring on board. Right now we have 28 jets. We have orders for 90 with options for up to 144, I believe. So if I staff all of those jets and nobody leaves and nobody goes anywhere, I have made myself irrelevant in the industry and I'm out of a job. So I need you guys to come in and fly with us for 3 to 5 years and then move on so I can keep working because I enjoy my job, I enjoy my flight benefits. And I have to look at where we're going. We're gonna have this guy come back. I don't know why. But we are Piedmont, and so we talk a lot about the industry. And I am not a pilot myself, I'm on the HR side. I have years in the industry, but I've never been on your side of the door. And that's a really special place for you to be. And I would love to be on that side of the door, and if I can get my boss to pay for it, he will, and I will make that happen. But I'm not there yet because I don't have the time with the company to force him to do things like that. But Josh is on that side of the door. And Josh has been on that side of the door in a helicopter and in a jet. And he will be there very quickly. So now I'm giving him the clicker. Surprise! Brett has stripes.
I have stripes. That's true. That is true. I got plenty of them. I can loan them out. You know, it's great. It's fantastic. Well, these stripes, what they tell you is I've been a captain for Envoy. I've been there about 10 years. I've flown a couple different types of aircraft for him. I've also got Josh Thomas here in the back. He's the first officer for us. I'll probably bring him up front here just so in case we have any crisis with the computer there, we can move along. Speaking of the computers, the little clicker here. There we go. That's what we used to be. We were kind of a combination of several different airlines that came together. Up to upwards of like about 10 different airlines. Small ones you may have never heard of, Air Virginia, Nashville Eagle, and Command Airways. These were back, they flew propeller-driven aircraft. This was when regionals were truly regionalized, right? So you would fly kind of in your local part of the country. Nowadays, we do routes from as far as Dallas to Montreal or Dallas to Calgary, almost 4 hours in the air. So we're doing a lot of routes that would have been done by American Airlines or United, Delta, some of the main lines. Now that we have aircraft such as the Aurora 175 that are capable of those kind of stage lengths, then we like to fly those. But we also do some short trips as well. I've done anything from flying down the street to Lubbock, Texas from Dallas. And then, like I said, as far away as Canada, Mexico. And we've done flying to Cuba, some other interesting places as well. Depends on what aircraft. I fly the Embraer 175. I've also flown another little bit smaller aircraft, for those of you who know it, the Embraer 145. Josh here flies the CRJ 700 for us here out of Chicago. So it's a little larger version of the Canadair regional jet. Canadair regional jet, CRJ is kind of the one that everybody thinks about. It was sort of that first regional jet that really took the industry by storm and replaced turboprop flying as being the majority of the type of aircraft used by regional airlines. So I want to take a little bit of the makeup of the room here. How many folks are working on their pilot certificates now? Okay, got quite a few hands. Out of those, how many are working on private pilot? Okay, any instrument pilots working on your instrument rating? Good deal. And commercial pilots working on commercial multi-ratings, things like that? Very good. All right, excellent. Anybody working on instructor ratings? All right, no teachers yet. Anybody want to be a flight instructor? Is that a path that you want to take? Okay, very good. Anybody who would like to build their time as a commercial pilot but not be an instructor? Do some other type of flying. Very good. A couple hands there. All right. You might tell me what kind of flying you'd be interested in?
Cargo or anything.
Cargo, something else? Okay, very good. How about the same thing?
Yeah, cargo is good. The small, Cessna Caravans.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like we've already talked about, and I'll try not to, when I follow up with Piedmont, since they're another wholly owned carrier of American, I'll try to address a few other topics. But one of the things I like to find out is what paths. They were talking about all the different paths that you can take to aviation. There are a lot. I think that going to the regional airlines, we tend to focus on instructor track. Part of the reason that we do that is because becoming a flight instructor tends to enable you to build what I call volume time. So you can get larger blocks of time each month, 60, 80, almost even 100 hours a month. It helps you reach the airlines quickly. But there's other viable tracks out there like flying cargo. I know people that do aerial survey flying that can be very interesting. They help with mapping, and some people fly for, if they're not in the military, I've had friends that have been contractors that fly military type equipment. They may even fly overseas with military pilots and things like that, but they're actually civilian pilots that help with that. So there's a lot of neat tracks for getting to where you want to be in the industry. How many folks in here are parents of somebody who's an aspiring aviator? Do we have any parents in here? I got a couple hands. All right, very good. I bet that you have some questions as well. One of the biggest questions I have as a parent now is how am I going to fund flight training for my student should they ever want to become a pilot? It's not a cheap endeavor. I know that the industry is working on a lot of solutions to help people get their ratings. So we can talk about a little bit of that as well. I know we've got roundtables coming up. You'll sit with Josh, you'll sit with me and some of the folks from Piedmont. Hopefully we can answer some of those questions for you. So thanks for giving me the breakdown of kind of who everybody is. Are there any questions that anybody wants to shout out now, just real briefly, that I can maybe try to make sure I address while I'm talking? Anything that you've had on your mind that you'd like me to?
Cadet program different than Piedmont?
Cadet program, a little bit. So I'll talk about that a little bit when I go through our cadet program. Anything else? Okay. Just wanted to make sure if there was any really pressing question. Again, you can always ask them at the table, but if there was anything you want to know, I'll try to work it in. There's a lot of details about our airline, about Envoy and what they pay, and what type of places we go to, what fleets we fly. I'll touch on a little bit of that, but really what I like to focus on, I view being a pilot and mostly a pilot recruiter as being an educator. I was an instructor for about 10 years before I became an airline pilot. So I like teaching, and I feel like in order to make an effective decision about what airline you want to go to, the first thing you need to know is, what questions should I be asking? There's almost an infinite number of questions. And the problem is, since each one of you is a little bit different in what you're looking for, you need to know what questions to ask. One of the first things that I generally hear when I come to a job fair, especially if somebody's an experienced pilot and kind of has an idea of what they're looking for, they'll walk up to my table or my booth back there and they'll say, what is it that Envoy can do for me? Right? I've heard a lot of different airlines talk to me here. What is it that makes Envoy unique? And I actually tell them, I can't answer that question for you. The reason I can't answer that question is, I don't know what makes us unique for you. I need to hear about you first. I need to hear what's important to you. I need to hear what you want out of the career. Do you want to fly as much as humanly possible and make the most amount of money? Do you prefer more time off? You're willing to sacrifice some pay, but you want maximum time with family and at home? Do you prefer flying longer routes? Do you want to sit in the cockpit for 4 hours? Or would you rather sit in the cockpit for an average flight length of maybe an hour? Because that'll determine, do we have the type of aircraft that fit what you're looking for? The types of flights you enjoy doing? Do we have the type of schedules that make sense for you? Do we have bases that make sense for you? Where do you want to live in the country? Do you mind commuting to work? Meaning getting on an airplane and actually riding as a passenger just to get to the base where you are, just to get to where your aircraft is so you can start to fly it? Or is it very important to you that you be able to drive to work? Are you willing to relocate? Or do you want to live where you are now? These are all important questions, right? And they're really, really going to affect the decision you make. So even more important necessarily than just what can Envoy offer you, it's more, what questions should I be asking and what's important to me? I always tell every applicant that I talk to, know thyself, right? Know yourself very well. Know what you're looking for out of the industry, and then look at the various airlines, weigh the options, get some of the details, and figure out. I promise you, the airline that is right for you will rise to the top very quickly if you truly know what it is that's most important to you, and you can prioritize that list. You can weight that list based on what's most important. So with Envoy, right now we've been through some various iterations. When we were those small regional carriers, each one had their own, just set of chief pilots, their own aircraft, their own bases. Once they all came together, we've been as large as about 3,300 pilots at our high point. A lot of those departed for the mainline carriers, for legacy carriers like United and Delta and American. And right now we're running at about 14,000 employees with about 2,000 pilots. We're actually approaching 2,100 pilots. Our last class was the largest one that I've ever seen as a pilot or a recruiter during my time with the airline. We had 69 pilots join our last class. We're actually going to have to break that class up into 2 classes just to make it work. So it's, I think they were talking about what an exciting time it is to get into the airlines. And I want you to know that there's evidence for that by how many people are choosing to come to the airlines. We've hired as few as, when we are hiring, we've hired as few as 3 people in a single class. So to say that now we're hiring 69 people in a single class, that shows you where the pendulum has swung. Airlines maybe not being very popular, to, now the financial picture that the airlines offer you, the opportunities they offer you, the earning potential, the retirement, the days off with family and things like that, that equation is starting to make sense for more and more people. And that's probably why you're sitting in this room. That's probably why we're all sitting here talking, right? Is that the airlines are starting to get it right in terms of making this industry attractive to people such as yourselves. Not flying is always attractive. People enjoy the act of flying. It's fun, it's enjoyable, it's a good time, it's got a beautiful view, right? It gives you a chance to see the world. Flying's not the problem. It also has to be a career field that makes sense for you. Otherwise, you might go be a doctor and decide to buy your own little airplane and just do that type of flying, right? So the airlines have to make it make sense. One way they do that is bases. So I talked to you about the questions that you want to be asking each airline representative when you talk to them, or as you do your research. And if you're a student pilot, you have time. That's the nice thing. If you're working on your private or your instrument commercial, focus on your training first. You want to do really well in your training. You want to pass those check rides and those tests the first time you take them. That's very, very important. First time pass rate on exams is very important to an airline, because when I look at an applicant's record, that is one of the ways that I can determine if this person's been successful as they go through their training. I have a very rigorous training program at Envoy, right? We have excellent instructors and we provide you all the resources we can. But one way I can determine if you're going to be successful in that training program is, have you been successful up to this point? All right? So as you go through your training, I want you to know, before researching airlines and looking at all these beautiful airplanes and things like that you hope to fly someday, make sure that you focus in on the training that you're doing right now. That private pilot certificate, that instrument certificate. Remember that what you're doing is you're building the foundations for what you're going to be doing in our cockpits. Instruments flying in particular. If you struggle through your instrument rating and you want to go to the airlines, I would maybe go back and take a second look at all that information, because what we do is fly IFR flight plans, instrument flight rules plans, every single day. That's the only type of flying we really do, by and large. So those types of things are important. So focus on your current training. As you have time, start asking yourself questions. Where do I want to live? Do I want to stay put where I am, or do I want to move somewhere else? Am I willing to move to a base? I can tell you that my life is very different from when I started at the airline to today. When I started with Envoy, I was a first officer in Chicago, but I lived in Phoenix. So I got to work by having to literally find flights from Phoenix to Chicago on American. Or I could use other airlines. That's one of the advantages of being a cockpit crew member. If you have one of these wonderful little badges and it says crew on it, you can actually ride up in the cockpit, even in airlines that are not your own. I've ridden in the cockpit for United, Delta, other regionals, just to get me to work. But it adds an element of complexity. Does everybody understand what I mean by commuting? Does that make sense, right? Flying to work? So one of the things I talk about with complexity is, if my flight that I'm scheduled to be a pilot on leaves from Chicago at 6 a.m. tomorrow, when do I really probably need to go to work? Sunday night, right? Day prior. Yeah, if tomorrow was Monday, I should probably go the night prior. Right, I should go the night prior. So now I have to get myself a flight, got to find a hotel room, got to make sure I have a nice place to sleep. They won't let you crash in the crew room. That's not what it's designed for, so you have to find a place to stay. Some pilots use apartments. They call them crash pads. Has anybody heard of a crash pad? Yeah. It's, a little bit collegiate is what it feels like. It feels kind of like being back in the dorm, You have usually some bunk beds and people are renting various bunk beds. It's not really a place to live. It's just a place to spend some time, when you need a bed in that town. But you fly to work, right? And so you have to add that into your schedule. How much time am I going to be away from home? If you're a commuter, there is the risk that if you get early show times like that, you may actually be away from home one extra night each week, flying in that day early. Right? So I'm just saying, these are important things to think about. Commuting is a wonderful life choice. People like it because...
All right, here we go. Wow, this took all day, this event. That was just crazy. But I really learned a lot. And I'll share. Hold on, guys. I think I gotta get my ticket paid for. I'm pretty sure. Sorry. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna make a quick washroom stop. So, hold on a sec, we'll be back. Alright, guys. Wow, that was a fun event. I learned a lot. Excuse me. Okay, so they say there is a sandwich shop around here. I wonder if I should just go and eat something. Oh, okay. Looks like I gotta do it here. I think I'm just gonna go and take off. Insert ticket.
Unreadable ticket. Please try again.
Really? Okay.
Unreadable ticket. Please try again.
Alright, guys, here we go. Yeah, my phone literally drained on battery. It's just crazy. So. So, I don't have too much battery, but I'll plug it in when I get to the car. Okay, my car, I don't even remember where I parked it. I think I parked it over here. Alright guys, I think we're just gonna head home. Yeah, I think that is the garage, somewhere over there. Because I remember that main entrance in that street. So I think we're in the right path here. I just have to stop by somewhere and get something to eat. I'm sure stuff here is expensive. So guys, we may have to pay with some with debit card and some cash. Let's just see what happens. It sucks. Okay, let's find our way out of here. But I definitely learned a lot. I mean, if I complete my private pilot training, then I could just maybe go to the cadet program with Envoy Air. I'm like, hey, that's better than pay. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. You know, that's another. Look at that elevator. Holy cow! Did you guys see that elevator? Holy sh! I'd ride it, but I kind of got to get out of here because it's like 6:30. So you guys seen it once though. As much as I'd love to ride it again, maybe we'll come back here another time. I think this is the exit we took. But that was fun, guys. I really did learn a lot, and yeah, things are looking better for my pilot career here. But this is a really cool hotel. That is just crazy good. I love it here. And guys, I actually got to meet an Envoy Air pilot today. I thought that was lovely. And really, I got his business card, so if I have questions, I can always ask for help. So, hopefully, I'm heading in the right direction, guys. I have my ticket here. Hopefully, there won't be problems. But I'll have the camera recording for YouTube videos. I think that this is the garage. Just take this door. Yeah, I think this is the garage. Jeez, it's cold out here. Oh man, I hear a plane. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Here we go. Guys, do you see that? It's in a mirror. Oh, wait. There you go. Aren't you guys glad I have the camera? I don't have the good camera, unfortunately, and I have to cross this crazy street here. I have to be very careful. Alright, guys. Guys, I'm gonna have to hold on a sec here. There has to be some kind of help here. Hold on, guys. Jesus, 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 Jesus. And I can't run with an injured foot. Alright, well, this is definitely the garage. We'll see if there's another way to pay for it. But it's been validated. We just have me. Alright, guys, we're going to take that elevator up. Yeah, see those gates? Those are it. Alright, guys, here we go. Back to our car. Alright, and here we take another elevator. Here we go. I believe we're on the first floor. 95% sure. Cold. I should have brought my jacket. But that was fun, guys. I really did learn a lot. So, it was good. It's an Otis. Alright, guys. Wish me luck. I'm going to keep this camera recording. Ooh. Jeez, I'm starving right now. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Gosh, there's no attendant here. Well, located on level 2. This is level 1. Alright, guys, we need to go up on one more floor, because this is right there. Yeah, this is level 1, we do. You know what, guys, let's just take the stairs. Take the staircase. Woman-powered elevator, here we go. Alright, yep, here's 2. Alright guys, here we go. I hope this works. Okay, 15 bucks. Here we go. I'll give him a 20. Because I went to the ATM earlier, got that on video. Let's see. Where does the dollar bills go? It's your ticket. Coins accepted. Change it. I don't know where to. Let's just use my stupid card. I don't even know. Guys, I'm gonna have to pay with credit card. I don't even know how to do this. I don't even know where cash goes. Oh, well. Okay. Acceptable. Alright guys, we've already paid for the ticket, so we're just going down the stairs now. Good. Alright guys, so now I think we should be good. They gave me my ticket back, paid only 15. So just put it in the gate thing and we should be good to go. Oh shit, look at that freaking 747. Holy shit. This is why I want to stay at this hotel so I can get these planes. Alright guys, we're gonna do the outro video when we get in the car, so hang on. Yeah, this is crazy. I didn't think I was gonna get out of dark. But hang on, we'll cut for a minute, we'll be right back. Alright, we are about to now enter the vehicle. Wow. Whoa, this thing's gonna close on me. Hang on, I gotta set up my navigation and get out of here. I gotta make a phone call first. Alright guys, so, outro. I hope you guys did enjoy today's event. It was really nice. I did learn quite a lot. Like I said, maybe I'll just take the path of going to... I can go there at Envoy Air after completing my cadet stage. Maybe I could just go to the cadet program, finish Simply Fly, hopefully, and maybe go start working for Envoy Airlines, and then eventually I can work my way up to becoming American Airlines pilot. So, like I said, guys, I got many options. I'm going to go and explore them. So, anyways, I gotta get going. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. I will see you guys in a week from now, exactly 1 week. That's when I have my 1-hour flight lesson, my flight instructor. I'm looking forward to that. Gonna go home and give this camera a charge, edit the video. Hope you guys had a great time with me. I know I did, and I will see you guys in a week. Ciao.